Hi, welcome to Tuesday Talk. I hope your day is going well. I honestly have had a day and a half, so I'm more than happy to sit down with you tonight, have a cup of tea. I have my Twinings Lady Grey decaf because it's 8 o'clock. And I am more than happy to sit and paint a little bit and do some crafting. It's a great way to unwind. So I hope that you will enjoy it too. So I'm going to have a sip of my tea. And what we're doing tonight is something pretty simple, but I hope at least it'll turn out pretty cool. We're taking a jar. We're actually doing 2 of them. And this is a simple jar that I got Aldi's sauerkraut in. And I just kind of liked the detail on it. And I thought, well, that would look cool painted. And then I had another idea. So I am a tea drinker, as I mentioned. And for years, I've bought red rose tea. And for years, they put a little porcelain figure in it. And then they quit doing it for a while, and now they're doing it again. I think they had too many complaints. So I have a couple little figurines, and this one is a mermaid, and then this one is a beach bird. So I don't know whether that is a sand bird, or it doesn't look like a crane, and it's not a pelican. So what we're going to do with these, these are going to go on the caps. And then I also have a base for one of them. This is simply a Dollar Tree candlestick. So we're going to end up putting these together and creating a nice little jar. Now, we are also going to put some additions to it. I brought stamps home. If you recall me buying the Michael stamps. And I also have some of the redesigned ink pads. So we're selling the great big ink, the stamps at the store. And these are the ink pads that go with them. And they're really cool because they're magnetic. So you don't lose these. So we're going to be working with the one in copper. So, so when you paint glass is probably one of the shiniest or slickest surfaces there is to paint. So you could paint a jar with Dixie Belle chalk paint and it would cure in 30 days. But until that time, you might, or even until you're done working with it, if you scratched it, you could probably scratch off some of that paint until it cures. So we're going to speed the process up with a product of Dixie Belle's, and it's called Slick Stick. So you would use this for painting on shiny things or smooth surfaces, slick surfaces, like if you're painting laminate furniture, if you're painting like a highly enameled furniture, or if you're going to paint countertops or floors. So it's a bonding primer. So it primes the surface and gives the paint something to grab onto. So I already did paint one jar, and I also painted one of the lids. So we're going to go ahead and paint these other ones here before we get started on the decorative painting. And I have everything we need here. I have the glue gun, or not the glue gun. Well, I do have the glue gun here, but I also have the heat gun. I've got all my guns ready, but I've got the heat gun so that we can dry some paint if we need to. So I'm going to start with a slick stick and just put a coat of that on. So I'm going to put this down a little bit, and I have my paintbrush in a bag. So when you're painting and you don't want to wash your paintbrush out, just put it in a Ziploc bag that's big enough for your brush and That way you don't have to wash it out right away. I don't recommend that you wait too long before you wash this kind of paint out, though, the slick stick. So I'm just sticking my hand in the jar. I'm not going to paint the bottom of them. And this stuff goes on pretty well. They recommend 2 coats, but if I was doing a different type of project, I probably would. But for this jar, I think we'll be fine to put 1 coat on. It's just giving us something to hold on to. Now, when I get up to the top here, I'm leaving the thread of the jar open. It just makes it easier to screw the lid on and off. Okay. I'm going to trade places with the one I already did, because it's nice and dry. And do the same with this lid. Hope you guys are all doing well and did not catch the COVID. Seems, I know lots of people that have had it, and I guess it's not a lot of fun. So, you know some people now that have it. Okay, I'm going to paint this candlestick base as well, because we're going to be painting on that. I also have a couple of colors of paint that we're going to be working with. I brought sea glass along because I thought that would be a cool beachy color. And I also brought fluff. Which is a white color. I always think of marshmallow fluff. And we can still distress this. I also thought it would be cool. I brought home the gemstone mousse. I brought 2 colors. I got the amber, which is kind of coppery, and I thought that would go real well with the decor ink that I brought home. And also the golden gem. So not sure which, if we'll use the gold or not, but so that's what we have there. I'm not going to paint the little figurines with the slick stick. I think we're just going to wait till we get those glued on and just paint them. So, okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry. So I have the dry jar and the lid. So I'm going to put this back in the bag, the paintbrush. If you pop on, let me know where you're watching from. And with it being Tuesday, now Tuesdays, you not only get Tuesday Talk, but it's kind of a 2 for Tuesday now because I started a new show every day. If you haven't seen it, at 7 o'clock, it's You Learn Something New every day at 7 o'clock. I don't, that's not part of the title, but anyway, kind of works out that way. But so yeah, it's now you get two videos in one. The You Don't Learn Something New videos are just real quick, 5 minutes or less, just little factoids. I call them knowledge nuggets. So things that you may or may not have known or may not care about. So as with anything else, if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. Okay, so I'll put the screen back down. This is one of my favorite Dixie Belle colors. This is Sea Glass. So I'm just going to kind of use this same method of putting it on my hand. So this makes a nice primer too. So we're probably only going to need 1 coat of this. So we have Boss too. That's another problem solver in the Dixie Belle line. And it is to block odors and stains, to keep the tannins from the wood bleeding through. If you have a dark wood or like a cherry or a mahogany or walnut, just kind of keeps the tannins in the wood from bleeding through. And also, if there's any odors or stains, it's very helpful with that. Also super excited because we're going to start selling a new line of Dixie Belle paints real soon called Silk. And it's different than our chalk mineral paint. It is an all-in-one, so it has a sealer and a primer built in. So it's just a different type of paint. And I'm excited to use it as well, but there's certainly still a place for our original chalk mineral paints in the scope of things. We'll never get rid of those. Okay. Painting along the top there. Let's take a look and see if I got everything. Looking good. And I'm going to set that aside to dry. And I'm going to take a quick second and the hot glue. Now, I should have my E6000 along with my hot glue, but I don't. So I'm just going to hope that this works. Going to put this figurine on the top of this jar lid. Hopefully I have it centered. Like I said, I'm just doing it to put it together tonight, but I would definitely recommend that you use E6000. And a lot of times, if you're trying to get something done, put both glues on, because the E6000 gives it a lasting hold and the hot glue gives it a quick grab hold so that you can go ahead and move on with your project. So we're not going to use the sea glass on this. I almost painted it with sea glass. Let's do the pedestal. No, I just did that one. We'll save the pedestal for the other one. I kind of wanted it on this one. I thought it would be really pretty, but we're just going to do the other one with the pedestal. We only have one pedestal tonight. So, and you know, you can use all kinds of things, not just candlesticks, but you can put all kinds of things together to do like pedestals for things. So lots of times finials and feet, like you buy in the furniture section, they're good for that too. So another brush in the bag. Gonna take a sip of my tea. Like I said, feel free to say hello. My plan with the stamps for the mermaid jar, I wanted to say mermaid money on the jar. So it's kind of like a jar to hold money. And then the other one with the bird, didn't know what to say. If you can think of anything better to say, please comment. But beach bucks. So I didn't know what kind of thing to call it. So, okay, we're going to use, all right, we're going to use the amber because I think it's most like the cotton or copper. So this stuff, I am actually going to shake it. Probably better to stir it, but I'm shaking it. It's a little bit thicker than your regular paint, so it will spill eventually. I'm just going to use what's in the lid here. Turn the screen down a little bit. And we're going to use this on the jar lid. So we're going to paint our little mermaid. She's getting a makeover. She's all glammed. Look at the coverage of this paint. It's amazing. So it's kind of like a cross between paint and gilding wax, perhaps. It's water-based, but the coverage on it is just incredible. You can use your fingers with it if you're going to go over details, or you can use a brush, whichever you prefer. Trying to get in the details there. We might need a second coat on her. Maybe not. I'm going to have to start getting my other light. It's not really light enough in here. Which reminds me to tell you, as I do all the time, to, if you're not subscribed, to please do so. And I would love it if you share the videos, because the more people we have subscribed. Oh, my dog's trying to get his bone. Then when we get to 1,000 subscribers, then I can use different devices to go live from. I just got a GoPro camera, so I'm kind of excited about that. I don't really know how to use it completely yet, but we're working on it. That was one of my first videos in the You Learn Something New. So I'm learning something new. Okay, let me just see if I got the bottom here. Okay, so that's looking good. All right. I think we need to use the, well, I'll go ahead and glue. I'm going to go ahead and glue on this other jar lid. Let's see if it's dry enough. Seems to be. So that dried pretty quickly. The bottom of this is kind of scored, so that might help it to stick a little better. Hopefully I'm getting it centered. Okay, I'm just going to take, okay, I can unplug my glue gun now. And let me just take a moment and use the heat gun and get all my jars dry here. Get this one dry. Heat guns are amazing. I just want to get it dry so I can move on to the next step. I know it's loud and I apologize. Okay, and they're hot. Got a little hot on my arm there. And it was getting hot in the jar in my hand. Okay. Thank you for putting up with the loud noise of the heat gun. I hope it wasn't too bad. So, all right. Sorry, had to do that, you know, just chilling with my tea and my crafting, making up for the day. I should have used the heat gun on this one as well, but we'll go ahead and let that sit a minute. And while I have this jar open and this brush, I'm gonna go ahead and paint our little pelican, or whatever he is, sandbird, if that's a thing. Is a sandbird a thing? Nice to have the little handle on there. So you can use your imagination and put together whatever you find. I have a ton of these little things, and I don't know what to do with them all because there's a lot of duplicates. I guess, I've seen them in flea markets. I know I have more like from when I was younger. So they really are, they are going to get the antiques. But these ones, these were in later years. But, I've just always just put them in a drawer. So if you guys have drawers full of Red Rose Tea porcelain figurines, then you can either keep them until they're collectible treasures. They always have been collectible. And I have seen them at many flea markets and antique stores. But now, if you don't want to wait that long and you have duplicates, here's something to do with them. I've never gotten them out. My grandkids will probably get a kick out of them. They are cute, and they did some really cute things later on in the years. I even have a White House one. So really super cute. All right. Now, what do you think? Think should paint the base like that? I think so. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we'll paint this base. Do something a little different. I love the coverage of this paint. It's amazing. It just looks so good. It's great for hardware on your furniture. I'm super excited. I am going to be painting a piece here soon, and I'll love using this on the hardware. It'll just wake it up. So yeah, these little things, these little dollar store candle holders are, they're gold for $1. There, you can do a lot with them. I feel like this one, I don't know, it's got broken or something, or maybe it's just glue residue on it, because I think it was glued on something else. So we'll find out how well the jar sits on it. I think we'll be okay. Ah, I needed glue for that too. Well, I didn't paint the bottom of the jar, so let's see if there's enough in here. Nope. I'm going to heat it up again. All right, so let's let that heat up. We'll glue that together. Put the lid on my mousse. My brush away. And then we'll get the fluff on the other one. And then we'll start stamping on the sea glass jar. I may have to use the heat gun again, not 100% sure. Try not to. Try let things dry naturally. I'll use a bigger brush and then it'll go faster. Let's see what we have here. Just perfect. Okay, so that's our slick stick. So here's Dixie Belle's fluff. It's not the whitest white, it's the next white. So I kind of like to think about marshmallow cream or cotton candy when I think about this color. Buttercream icing. Well, we have a buttercream color. You tell I'm dieting? I'm like thinking about all the food things. You can't see him, but my dog is resting his head on my lap. Such a cutie. And he wants something. He knows I'm talking about him too. So like I said, these jars were simply, they were sauerkraut jars from our New Year's kraut. I liked the detail at the top. I thought, let's hang on to those. I have to do something silly every now and then, right? So I'm just going to paint some jars just for fun. So last week, I think it was, we went through all the gemstone mousse colors and all of the gilding waxes and the chameleon waxes to see what all they would do. And I found that I have a new love affair with the caviar and the chameleon waxes. I think they're really cool together. So this is going to sit on here. Let me put the fluff brush away. So we're getting there. We're just about done with our painting. I'm going to set that one aside. Put my lid on. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Tell me my glue stick is getting down there. I don't have another one. It's just not hot enough. I'm trying to rush it, I guess. All right, we're definitely going to have to dry this a little bit. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I apologize again for the heat gun, but let's go ahead and get this fluff jar or the sea glass jar dry. And we'll do the fluff one while we're at it. The mousse dries really fast. Seems to. All right. Okay, let's put the screen up here a second. So tell you what we've got going on here. So we're about to glue our one jar onto the other one. We're really moving right along with our project. The next thing might take a few minutes, and we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to stamp mermaid money on this jar and beach bucks on the other one. Nobody came up with anything better yet, so that's what we're going with. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try to glue this on here. See if my glue's hot enough. My stick is getting down there. Okay, we may have to imagine this part. Getting a little bit. I'm trying to push down on the stick. I'm really forcing the issue tonight with everything. There we go. All right, so let's set our jar on top of there. Again, not the best choice for glue. Not the first choice, for sure. I would recommend E6000 for this. I've glued a lot of glass together and use E6000, and it lasts. I even have garden glass, like those topiaries you do for the garden, and they have been outside for years and haven't come apart. So this hot glue will definitely not last forever. Again, I recommend when you're crafting and you want to get things done quickly, use them both. So, okay, so looking pretty good, right? Our jar, the bottom is not quite dry on that, but I'm going to move it out of the way a little bit and get our stamps out here. So again, this is what we're looking at, and I ordered these from Michael's. They are recollections. So I'm going to put the screen down here, and I'm going to try to slide this whole thing out so that it's easy to get to the stamps that I need. A little box would be great for these that just fit it. I might have to make one. You know what they say, necessity is the mother of invention, right? I like the vintage sets that you get. They often have the little boxes for them. Pardon me, I took a tea break. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit and get our stamp pad. Okay, so I wrote the phrases out here. Mermaid, MERMAID. So M is the middle letter, because you kind of want to space them. So there's this little thing they tell you not to discard when you get that. It keeps the ink dry, or wet, I should say. Okay, so, all right, so I kind of want to lay this down. I'm going to use one of these little things in the jar. I can't see what we're looking at. Can't wait until I can use a different device, an overhead. But anyway, I'm going to use one of these as my guideline for the middle. So I'm going to use my pad and try one on my paper. Oh, it looks good. Okay. So, I want to do mermaid and then money. So, okay, that looks cute. Got a little M. Can you see that on there? I can't see if you can see it or not. Okay, so A. So I'm going to do the second half first. If that makes any sense. So do A I don't know what a mermaid is. I know what a maid is, but I don't know what mer is. I mean, I know what a mermaid is. What's mer? M-E-R. I'm just being silly. Okay, I feel like I'm putting my letters almost too close or too far apart, but it's kind of hard to judge on here on a curved surface. Never stamped on a jar before. Okay, so let me do the mer. They aren't perfect, but that's okay. All right, where did my E go? A, B, C, D, E. Okay, there it is. This is really cute, I think. And if you do get some of the ink in other places, that's okay, because you can come back in with your paint. Okay, so now we have money. So N is the middle letter in that word. So we're going to stamp that under the M. So I have N and our E. Yeah, I'm going to have to touch up a little bit. Why? Okay, so I need an O. When they're new, they're stuck together. That one's kind of coming apart. Michael's. All right, let's M. All right, I think it's cute that it's kind of wonky and all over the place. I hope you can see that. I'm going to grab the, and knock things over. I'm gonna grab the sea glass brush and touch that up just a tad. Then there's one other little touch that I want to do to it. I was going to get the, apparently I can't touch up and talk. My gemstone mousse and kind of use it as a highlight on these details on the jar. So I sort of wish I'd have brought the gilding wax home. Isn't that cute? Mermaid money? I don't know so much about the phrase, but I just think the letters are cute on there. All right, so let's put the lid on it. I think that's pretty sweet. Mermaid money. Okay, you know what I can do? Well, I'm going to put I have the other jar to stamp too, but I'm just going to put this on here for the moment because I just don't want it to dry out. And I'm going to take the gemstone mousse again in the amber. And this time I'm going to use my fingertip. Real lightly, just kind of highlight the details in this jar. And if I get that one part too dark, that's okay. I can come back with my sea glass and I can kind of dry brush over it. So I want to do it here, and I want to do it on the bottom. Yeah, I think the gilding wax might have been a little easier, a little better to use for here. But you know what? Whoa, it's fine. I think it still looks cool. Okay. So some parts have a little bit too much. So I'm going to get the sea glass brush, in my opinion anyway, the sea glass brush out again. And just do a little kind of dry brushing over this spots that have a lot. And that just kind of takes it back to an accent. I'm going to kind of leave it like that and let it go until it's dry, and then come back in if I decide to put a little more sea glass on there. But I think it looks kind of cool. All right, so let's stamp our other jar. So this time we're doing beach bucks. I'm going to get this one out of the way. I like our mermaid money jar. So this would be a really cool thing if you were going to surprise somebody with a trip, and then, you know, you'd put a couple dollars in there, maybe the tickets or something. I think that would be cute. Okay, so this time, get my letters so I can see them. So B-E-A, so we need the A. Just gonna lay this down here. Do the same thing. Okay, we might spell this one the whole way across because I forgot to kind of move up a little bit. Do the E. Do a good job on that one. The B. We're going to need the C also. B-E-A. C. H. Okay, so we have beach. If you can see that or not. Beach. Okay, I think we're going to just keep going beside it. All right. The gemstone mousse isn't quite dry on this. And I think what I'm going to do is hold off to highlight the top of this. I think I'm going to use gilding wax. And I don't have that here with me, so it's at the store. So I'll hit that up tomorrow, and there is a copper color too, so that'll be good. And if I don't like the other one, I'll just paint over with sea glass and do it again, but I kind of like it. I'm going to show them to you one more time before we sign off. Oh, I'm looking for a G. It's bucks. Where's the C? Okay, C. Okay. And an S. There you have it. Let me put this up a little bit. See if you can see that. Beach. Beach bucks. Okay, so like I said, I'll wait and I'll go over this. I'll do that tomorrow. Although, another thing that I thought might be cool is to kind of take the stamp pad along here. See if I can get some highlight that way. See, I'm so impatient, right? I can't, I always say I'm going to do something and then I don't, because I can't wait. I actually really like this though. The gilding wax would be cool, but this is kind of cool too. You never know until you try if you like something or not. So I'm just making this a thing. Kind of afraid on this part to do too much lower, so I don't want it to get on the jar. So I still think it looks pretty cool. You could use some dark wax on this too, on this lighter color. I think that would look nice. There's so many possibilities. There's so many products. So ta-da, we are done. We have, this is still, like I said, this is still a little wet, but we have our Beach Bucks jar and we have our Mermaid Money jar. I think they're pretty cute. So I hope you enjoyed this tonight, and I hope it inspires you to get something maybe out of your recycle bin that you would have thrown away or given to the recycle people and make second life out of it. So I have metallic fingers, but that's the story of my life. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. So we're under an hour tonight, and I hope you have a good, restful rest of your evening. Bye-bye. Stay well.